Get up, the R spot. Get up.
Get up, got a problem, don't know how to solve them. Get up, need motivation, a source of inspiration. Get up, to make it to the end, you know you gotta fight to win. So watch the R spot, it'll fix your problem. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Hey, only on the R spot, yeah.
Welcome to the R Spot, the place we come to examine and explore all of the intricacies and details about relationships so that we can do better and be better in all of our relationships. If you're with us for the first time, welcome. And be sure that you hit the little red button down there so you can subscribe. And then you're going to notice every time we put up a new episode. And if you've been with us for a while, I'm knowing that you have already joined the R Spot Facebook community and that you're getting support and sharing your thoughts and ideas about what we begin here over in that community. Our topic today is a very interesting one. It's one I've wanted to do for a while, and it's about love language. Back in 1995, now that was 23 years ago, Gary Chapman authored a groundbreaking book called The 5 Love Languages, where he described how people need or tend to demonstrate their love. Now, most of us growing up learn the love language of our parents, which then becomes our native love tongue. And later on, we may learn some additional languages, but usually, without much effort on our part, we have a specific love language, an area that, or a way that we like to experience and express love. Your emotional love language and your partner's emotional love language may be as different as French and English. But it's important that you learn not only how you speak love or demonstrate love, but also how your partner does. Because so seldom, partners, they don't have the same love language. And then what happens is we become confused when our partner doesn't understand or respond to the love we're communicating. So that once you identify and learn to speak your partner's primary love language, you will have discovered the key to a lasting, healthy relationship. Now, I would also say that it's important for parents to learn their children's love language, because unless you do, no matter what you do, the child could end up feeling unloved. And this is something that they'll take into their adult relationships and probably never get satisfied. So let's take a look at the 5 love languages, or how people need to receive love. The first one is gifts. For some people, what makes them feel most love is to receive a tangible gift. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that the person is materialistic, but they're not meaningful or thoughtful. It just means that getting a present makes them feel loved and appreciated. Now, I don't need to receive a gift, but my love language is gift giving. I'm a gift giver. I'll tell you more about that later. Second love language is quality time. Now, this language is all about giving the other person your undivided attention. You know, unlike words of affirmation, for the attention person, the quality time person, talk is cheap. They don't care what you say or how you say it. Their main focus is on you spending quality time with them. They feel satisfied and comforted by the time you spend with them. So distractions or postponed dates or the failure to really listen can be very, very hurtful to these individuals. You being there, them knowing that you support them, and spending quality time with that is absolutely crucial. Then there's the language of words of affirmation. I have one child, this is his love language. This is the love language that you affirm the other person, you encourage the other person, you say things to them, and they would prefer you speaking these words than any other thing. These are the people that need to hear, I love you. And they need compliments. This is what they value, because words hold a real value for them. Now, with these people, you have to be careful, because negative or insulting comments cut deep, and usually it's very hard for them to forgive. Next, there is the acts of service. When your partner speaks this love language, your actions speak louder than your words. You may never tell them you love them, but if you help them with a project, if you help them get something done, they will love you forever. They want you to know that they're having a hard time and they want you there for them. So lending a hand shows that you really care. These people, they can't take a broken promise. And any level of perceived laziness, they have no tolerance for it. Basically, if you're not willing to show your appreciation by doing them a favor, they are not going to value you. I think the acts of service people sometimes are the hardest to demonstrate love to because you've always got to be doing something that lets them know you're there. Then you have your physical touch people. Now, nothing speaks more deeply for these people than a physical touch. Now, it doesn't mean that it's got to be in the bedroom, but everyday physical connections like hand holding and kissing and reaffirming and passing by. Now, the people who speak the physical touch language, they don't need you to be groping at their private pieces and parts, but they do like the little touchy-feely stuff every now and then. This is what makes them feel safe, and this is what makes them feel loved. Now, you've also got to be careful here because physical abuse or aggressive physical action, that's a deal breaker for them, for the physical touch people. Touch is sacred to them, so you have to be real careful and conscious. Now, that's how your partner needs to receive love. But there's another side. How do you show love? I want to talk about that because let's say you are a gift-giving person and your partner is a physical touch person. Now here's my confession. Not knowing my husband's love language destroyed my marriage. You see, I'm a gift giver and he was a physical touch person. And I would shop and buy him all kind of wonderful things, clothes and shoes and trinkets and anything else. And he would rarely say thank you, which would send me into high pissosity. Then, if I were cooking or walking by, he'd want to stop me and hug me. Or if I were trying to go somewhere, he'd want me to stop and cuddle. Now, don't get me wrong. I love cuddling and hugging. But he always seemed to want to do it when I was trying to do something else. And after a while, he started feeling rejected and acted that out by ignoring me. Anyway, it was just a mess. And it was all because we didn't know each other's love language. And now that I know it, I don't want him. Now, just because you and your partner favor a particular love language doesn't mean that you should stop expressing all kinds of love languages. Because the truth is, you're going to show love in the way you speak your language. But it may not be the way that your partner speaks. So it's best to try to master all of them. But if you want to figure out what your partner's love language is, listen to what they complain about. Oh, you never are there, or you never call me, or every time I touch you, you push me away. Listen to what they complain about. That's their love language. So it doesn't matter how much other stuff you're doing. If you're not speaking to them in the language they can receive, you're going to have a problem. Then you want to know, how do you figure out your love language? Well, ask yourself, what have I most often requested from my partner? And whatever you've requested and probably keep requesting and not getting is your primary love language, because your partner's going to speak to you in their love language and you're trying to get from them your love language. Oh, I'm telling you, you got to learn these things. Otherwise, it could be a real mess. And those requests that you make, why don't you go out with me? Why don't you spend time with me? Why don't you come and cuddle with me? Your partner probably thinks they're nagging. Then that's because they haven't figured out your love language. And we just want to do it so that we can have more peace and more calm. Now, another way to discover your primary love language is what you do or say to express love to your spouse. Chances are that what you're doing for him and her is what you wish they would do for you. So if you're constantly doing acts of service for your spouse, perhaps not all the time, that's your love language. If words of affirmation, you speak love to them, chances are that's your love language also. So you may be discovering your own language by looking at what it is that you do for your partner. This is so simple and so important. chances are that we're speaking a language that our partner doesn't understand. And they may be speaking a language that we understand. Now, it's not going to always be comfortable for you to speak in your partner's love language. But we're not talking about comfort. We're talking about love. And love is what we do for other people. So you really want to get clear about what your partner needs to feel loved. And, because so often couples love each other and they really want to be connected, but they're not, and they're not communicating. They're really sincere, but sincerity isn't enough. You have to know what to do and be willing to do it to make your partner feel loved, even when it's uncomfortable. So, is it gift giving that they need? Is it physical touch that they need? Is it acts of service? Is it words of affirmation? Is it quality time? I want to encourage you to listen. Go back. Stop being mad. Go back and listen to what your partner complains about and give them the love they need in a language they understand. And if you know your love language, tell it to your partner. If you like gifts, ask for them. If you like to be touched, say, come here, boo. I want you to rub me right over here. Just rub me right there. Come on. Okay? Learn your partner's love language. I promise you, it'll make life much easier. Hope this helps, and I'll see you next time. Be sure to sign up for my mailing list at Iyanla.com because I've got a new book coming out in 2018 and I'm going to be on tour for the first time in 16 years. I want you to know when I'm coming to your hometown or a town near you because you can just come on over there. And I hope that you will follow me on all social media platforms. And if you haven't signed up for Awakening 1 Million, Awakening 1 Million Powerful Minds, please go to awakening1million.com. Get your gifts and your assignment.